Welcome to another one of our exciting stair design videos, or at the very least, another stair design video, where we are going to go over some of the problems that you could have using a stairway like this, whether the steps are going to be squared like this or rounded. And of course, we're going to take a look at a couple of different rounded steps and how I feel they would affect the traffic or the use of the stairway. So let's go ahead and start with this design here where the steps tie into each other at a 90-degree angle. And as you notice, we have a larger tread or a larger step at the mitered point here. And this would gradually reduce down as we angled off until we came to a 90-degree angle where it would be 1 foot for this particular stairway. So let's go ahead and take a look at if we were going to go up this side of the stairway. And if you notice, each one of the steps will be getting progressively smaller in width until we get to the last one where we will turn at a 90-degree angle and then go on to the platform. Now if I go up the corner here at a 45-degree angle, each one of the steps will be a little longer, but they'll be the same. And then I'll turn and go on to the landing. Now we're not going to have any problems going up this side of the stairway as long as the width of the stairway is something that your local building department would approve as the minimum. Most of the time for residential stairs, you're going to need a minimum of 36 inches. In the next example, let's go ahead and round the corners off. This is a 6-inch radius on each one of these, so each one of these steps will still be the same. Take a look at it from this view here. So from here to here, we're still dealing with the same. I believe it was 17 inches. 12 inches here and about 17 inches here. So we still have the same problem here. When we come up the side of the stairway, the steps are going to get progressively smaller in width as we walk up, except for the fact we're no longer going to have a square edge here. We're going to have a little less area to step on, which could or could not be a big deal. In this area here, we're going to have the same as we did before, except this might be a little bit smaller. Your last step might be a little bit smaller. And of course, if the stairway was a little smaller, let's say it was 36 inches from here to here, this round section could actually be a problem. And that's what you need to be aware of if you're going to do a design like this in an area where you don't have a lot of room. But if space isn't going to be a problem, and you have a 36-inch stairway, you can just make it 6 inches longer if your building department was going to have a problem with it. Now in our next example, I'm going to go from the square corner here with a radius. So this is going to be a 12-inch radius, and I'm going to work my way all the way up. So we're going to end up with something like this. And again, we're going to end up with a 12-inch step here and the 17-inch step here until we get to the last step, which again might or might not be a problem. So again, we're looking at 1 foot 5 inches, 17 inches, and going up from this side, you're just going to have a smaller step at the top. And again, the stairs are going to be getting progressively smaller, except we're not going to be having the steps. They're not going to be coming out to a square corner. The width of the steps is going to be a little bit smaller and might become uncomfortable for someone walking up this side. Now, when we go to the middle, I don't think we're going to have as big of a problem because the steps are going to be the same size until we get to here. Now, when we go ahead and go to this side here, we can see where this curve has definitely taken a big chunk out of this step. And again, if this was less than 3 feet, we might need to either get rid of the step that's rounded or shaped here, or we're going to need to be able to make this a little wider. And again, this might be a problem if you don't have the space. And of course, in our last example, we are going to have a stairway that is going to work fine, not going to be a problem for most building departments. And to build this stairway, we're simply going to start with a center point and then curve all of these steps from there. So we have a center point here, come out 1 foot. Center point, 2 foot. Come out here 3 feet and then 4 feet, providing us with a 12-inch step all the way around the stairway. And by now you're probably thinking that these are the most common stairs that you have seen anyway, and now you know the reason why. And of course, if we were going to come from this side here, the steps are all going to be 12 inches. And from this side here, steps are going to be basically the same size. I'm not saying this is going to be as comfortable to walk up, because you might have a wall or something here that's going to force you a little over. You're not going to be walking right here. If there's a wall here, you're going to be walking up around here and still making a turn going up the landing. Center shouldn't be a problem. Equal steps. This could be a little smaller, could be a little more awkward to put your foot on here and then turn and go up the stairway. And of course, this part here, you're not going to have a problem as long as you have the width here. And it would be acceptable within your local building codes by your local building department. And of course, I would like to point out that I have seen all of these stairways built before. However, I never gave it much thought to the measurement that might be required by the building code for a step and how the building code is interpreted. If we are measuring from the face of a riser to the face of the next riser, or the edge of a step to the edge of the next step, and all of these measurements need to be exactly the same, then this is the stairway you're going to want to use. So just be prepared. You go down to your local building department, they've watched this video also, and they're aware of this problem, then we could be tearing out a lot of stairways all over the world. Now, that's probably not going to happen. And the interpretation of this is going to be up to your local building department. So I don't want to scare anybody into tearing out your stairs or anything like that. If you have a set of stairs that was built that might not have the same tread size, don't get scared. Don't worry about it. You know, if it's already built, it's already been approved by your local building department. That wasn't what this video was meant to do. It was just meant to make you aware of something that could be questioned by your local building authorities.